This right here is the Transformers Legacy Armada Hotshot. This is the Transformers Legacy Armada Starscream. This was the one that was voted first for me to review. It's kind of a basic figure, but it's really nice and it has a good robot mode and a good jet mode. And I think it embraces the nostalgia really well. Now here's a look at the packaging. You can tickle him through there. And through the plasticless packaging, he is screaming, "Please help me, let me out. We will do that soon." You got him in his vehicle mode right here. If you can't read, that says Armada Universe Starscream. And this is a Voyager class figure. Here's a look at the side of the packaging and the other side. It's got Starscream on it and it looks like some Cybertronian language. Here's a look at the back, and this one's only 18 steps. That's good for my baby brain. Now let's open it up. Now released from its binding shackles, here is the figure. It comes with not just one sword, but two swords. Now this is supposed to be Starsaber. In the show, it's supposed to be several minicons that come together, but unfortunately this is just the one piece. And here's a look at the instructions. You know, just your average instruction booklet. Now here's a look at the figure. It is really nice. It's got such a nice head sculpt on there. You have his orange eyes over there, a very RBF style face, which does suit Starscream. Unfortunately, this figure does not come with a minicon. It would be nice to see them start adding minicons into figures like these, but I don't think that's going to happen. Now, on the original figure, this is supposed to be up, and that makes it more show accurate also, but on this figure, these are supposed to be down, and I think that gives it a much nicer and cleaner look because it really looks kind of weird sticking out like that, and it fits in better with the proportions of this figure. The figure has a good amount of detail on it. You got some detail in the chest area and on the cockpit right here. There's some nice yellow gold paint inside here. There's some detail on the arms here, some panel work on the wings. You got a nice Decepticon logo over there, little bits of yellow throughout the figure. You got some detail on the side of the arms, and you got some detail on the legs over here, even on the front of the legs. Overall, the sculpt and molding of this figure is really nice. It does feel a bit on the lighter side, and it's got some hollow bits on the wings right here, as well as some hollow legs. Some very hollow feet as well. Now let's do some comparisons. I don't have the original Armada Starscream, but I do have Thundercracker right here, and there is a very big size difference between the two. I had to zoom out a bit because it's a bit troubling to fit them both on the screen. Now both figures have their details in their own places. Now the Thundercracker mold here is just a redo of the Starscream mold, so it's pretty much the same figure, just a different color scheme. But you can see overall the figures look generally similar. You can see on this one these parts are out and they can't go down. The chest and cockpits area look similar, along with the winged areas, same with the arms, as well as the legs. Now obviously this figure is going to feel much more solid and heavier. That's just how these older figures were. And just like in the show, this wing out here becomes a sword that he can hold right there, and that is how it is in the show. For this figure, the sword is a separate piece and the wings can't come out. The proportions on the figure are different too. The arms on this one are very weird and long, and these parts are out on this figure, while on this one they're supposed to be in. This figure also comes with a minicon that you're supposed to put in right here, and that'll bring these out forward, which you can fire. This one also comes with sounds. I'm honestly surprised the batteries still work on these. And you can make sounds by pushing it down. Okay, that's enough. Stop. Just cycles through those two sounds. Honestly, it's not a bad figure for its time, but this video isn't about him. It's about this guy. Now let's compare him to another Starscream figure. Here he is next to the Coronation Starscream. Now in general, I think this figure is much more solid than this one. This one has a lot more detail on it and it looks nicer, but that doesn't mean that this is a bad figure. Here he is next to Armada Red Alert, Armada Hotshot, Classic Starscream, and Studio Series Bumblebee Starscream. Comment below if you want a review on this. And here it is next to the Alien Attack Optional Girl. And here it is next to the X-Men Expanse Transformer. Comment below if you want to see a review of this guy. And the figure itself has a pretty decent amount of articulation. Having the ball joint on the back of the head right here is kind of a weird spot in my opinion, but it does let him look all the way up like that, which looks unnatural, and you can make him look all the way around. Not really any side to side movement. These wings right here can rotate like that, and there are a joint right here. You can bring these up right here and bring these forward, and they got some nice detail on them as well. You can move the arms out like that. You can spin the arm all the way around. You can rotate him at the biceps right here. You got an elbow joint, no wrist rotation unfortunately. And now from the way this figure looks, you wouldn't think it has a waist rotation, but if you move this out of the way and move this, you can spin the waist all the way around. I was actually pretty surprised by that. Now these legs can go out pretty far like that, and you can bring them all the way up like that. Move this out of the way and you can bring it back. really far back, and you can bring it up that far. You can bend the knee, and then you can bring it up even more. You can move the feet back and forth, and tilt them side to side. The thighs right here can spin around, but this one is loose on mine, so it constantly falls off. But this one is not so loose. Now, I will say, when I first saw this figure, I wasn't too fond of the way it looked, but after owning it, I really do like it. It is a very nice and solid figure, although it feels a bit more deluxe class than Voyager class to me. Oh, that leg fell off. These legs right here don't have the best connection, and I don't really like how they look on the inside like that. It just feels really cheaply made there. Now, this figure has a lot more posability than this figure. Nope, no, you weren't supposed to do that. Like, the head on this figure can't move. There's no arm rotation there. It has some bicep rotation and elbow bend. The legs on this can only move forward and back. Now, back onto the weapons. This is supposed to be his wing blade. Not a whole lot of detail on there. And here is Starsaber. It's only 2 colors and has some detail on there. It would be nice to see a third-party version of this that's minicons that goes with this figure, like kind of an upgrade kit. And you can put the swords on each of his hands. And there you go, he's holding 2 swords. Now, you might have noticed these right here. You can take these null rays from previous Starscream figures, and you can put them in there. I mean, that's not really what they're for, but they do work and look kind of cool on them. Unfortunately, there's no place for the cape. This figure would look cool with the cape though, and the coronation crown doesn't really fit on this. Which is unfortunate, because this figure deserves the crown a lot more than Coronation Starscream. You could also take these off, and I mean, you could put them right here if you really wanted to. I don't know why you'd want to, but you can. Now let's move on to the transformation of the figure. Let's bring in the feet right here. Then let's open both of these right here, so we can bring the hands in and close them up. Now let's straighten these back out. Let's flip the wings forward. Now we bring these out forward and bring the cockpit up. Now we can bring this back up here, push the head in down. Now this piece right here is supposed to be out, so we can just bring that there again, and then we can bring that back up, flip these pieces out. Now we take these out, flip the figure over, and we bring them in like so, and we're supposed to put these feet in right over here. So adjust that, and then bring it in right there. Do the same on this side. Now let's snap that in place, and then this piece right here is supposed to go underneath like there. Let's make sure this is snapped in place. And now we can snap these in place right here. Now let's straighten the wings out right here. And then we bring these arms in back right there. And these tab into place right over here. Same on this side. And there you have his vehicle mode. Now there is weapon storage for the vehicle mode. You can put the wing sword right here and put the Starsaber right over here. I don't really like how it looks like that, but that is how the instructions say it's supposed to be. Now the vehicle mode on this looks pretty good. I think it's a good representation of the original character design and the original figure. Now one thing I didn't mention is that in the show these gray parts are supposed to be white, but here they're gray. But other than that, the figure looks pretty accurate to its original concept, and overall I really do like it. You can bring these out forward in his alt mode as well. And now for comparisons, let's take a look at the Thundercracker real quick. Let's transform him, bring the wings up like that, close the feet, bring this forward, bring the legs back here, just like that, and bring those feet out and around. Same here. Bring these hands in back, and the arms are supposed to go in kind of like that, and push the head in. And here is the vehicle mode on that. The transformation on this is pretty much just an upgraded version of this, and overall they look very similar, except on Thundercracker this area is kind of angled down, where on here it's completely straight. Now I'm going to go on a rant here. What this figure is right here is pretty much what I wanted from this guy. I'd really like to see a proper legacy version of this, and this is why I want that Commander of the Stars that I won't shut up about. This figure didn't really give me what I want, which what this figure does pretty much perfectly, and that is just be sort of a more upgraded version of the original. Now this wasn't from the legacy line. Hopefully we will see a legacy version of this. Now here is its comparison to the Coronation Starscream. Now this one I think has a much nicer and cleaner look to it, but that doesn't mean this one is bad. This one is still a pretty good figure, and I do recommend buying it. There is also a considerable size difference, and this one feels much more like a Voyager class figure. Now if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this review right over here, and a big thank you to all my patrons who support me on Patreon. There's a link in the description below for only $1 a month. Thank you, bye.